Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker, and GLBI has been on my radar. What do I mean, GLBI? Well, it means Guaranteed Livable Basic Income. So this is something that has passed the first reading already. And what this means is what you've heard about, probably universal basic income. So it's a very similar thing to that. And yes, it has passed in Canada the first reading. And what this actually means is nothing is happening at this point right now. So they're basically saying, yes, that we want to do this in the government. And now they basically tasked the federal government to start doing consultation, which our government loves to spend money on consultations. So they're going to spend some money on doing a consultation on all of this and figure out how they should do it. The point is that they're saying in a majority vote here that they actually want to do this thing. So I don't know, maybe a little bit concerning, but they're saying that they want to do this because there's too many people slipping below the poverty line. And maybe welfare is not such a nice way of getting people back up on their feet. There's a lot of social services out there for people that may be underutilized. People may not know where this all is. So basically what they're thinking is that take all of these welfare programs, these special programs and whatnot, and let's consolidate all of these programs into one thing, which is this guaranteed basic living income, and like try to pitch this to people. And the qualification for this, loosely they're saying right now, is like if you're 17 years or older, you're automatically qualified if you're a Canadian. There is no kind of prerequisite or anything else like that. Even the way that they're going to be funding this is very, very, very loose. Like there is no actual mathematical formula in order to do this, but I think we all know when the government does something like this, what's going to happen next. And I got 3 points of where I think this is going to come from. One, the people that are in the higher earning income bracket, their taxes are likely going to be going up. Second, it's going to be the corporations. I think that they're going to increase corporate taxes in order to be able to fund this. And third, I think we're also going to see maybe a higher tax or even a possible tax, capital gain tax on your personal income or your personal property. So I think that these things may not be off of the table. They're going to have to find some way to fund this. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I think if you guys know me and watch my videos, you know I have an opinion about it. And I'm not sure at this point right now if it's good or bad. It is because they're saying like, because of the pandemic, this caused a lot of issues. Now they're saying because of technological advancements like AI, which will be replacing a bunch of jobs, what are we going to do with all these people? And so they want to introduce this type of a program. Now there is two ways of kind of looking at this and saying, hey, this is a great safety net for somebody and they could use this program well, get back on their feet and start to become a contributing member of the society. Or you could look at it this other way where we've sometimes seen it is just people, lack of a better way of putting it, it's just milk the system, right? They try to figure out a way, a loophole of how they can kind of stay in the system, float, and not really have to do anything and continue to kind of have somewhat of a normal lifestyle, if you want to call it that. I would really like to gather what your guys' thoughts are on something like this. And I've mentioned it before as well. I'm all for helping people, but like when our country is in a need where they kind of need to help themselves first, and we're starting to, you know, expand and help other programs and things like that, that's where I personally feel like we start to get into trouble. But I want to see your feedback. Again, I want to just add that I think that if we start to cut back on programs, start to make ourselves stronger, then I think we're going to be in a better position to help other people. I've used this example in my personal life all the time, and I've lived by it, right? So basically, I really believed in myself of saying, hey, I got to make myself the best version of who I am. I have to be happy with myself. I have to be self-sustaining in order to be able to give somebody something and be able to help them out. Not just give them a meal for today, but I'll be able to show them how they can get a meal for the rest of their life. I'll be able to set them up in that kind of a way because I have myself set up. I look at the same thing as this country, awesome country called Canada. I wish that we could do something like this. First, come back, protect us, protect who's in here, and then let's find a way to move forward. And yeah, that could mean that by this basic guaranteed income that we are protecting the people in here, but we also have to see where these people all came from. Do they all qualify? Should our qualifying criteria be different as well? And the other thing I want to add as well is that I'm going to get hate on it, I know, but I'm going to say I feel like a lot of this stuff that Canada introduces, the government introduces, we're kind of softening things a little bit, and I'll bring it up. So like the guaranteed income, if AI is such a big role in introducing basic income, shouldn't that kind of be like, hey, something is changing over here, we should kind of shift towards something? Shouldn't there be programs programs to get people ramped up to be great prompt engineers, or how to harness the use of AI, because we know the threat is not AI. The threat is not being able to learn how to use AI. Why wouldn't we do something like that instead of just doing a handout? Again, when we go into softening, I have other examples as well. And another example could be is like these legal marijuana stores. Like, I think we all know that marijuana was readily available if you wanted to get it, but now we're actually making it open to everybody being able to get it, and it's easily accessible. It's acceptable and socially acceptable at this point right now, and you're just sitting there numbing your mind possibly, right? It's easier access to these things. Why did we allow it? People that wanted it could have got it anyways. There's a number of these things that I feel like we're going, there's other ones I won't get into because I've already got my hand slapped, but there are a lot of things that we're doing. So I want to get your guys' opinion of where do you guys see this whole thing going? Because again, about my opinion and people that I know is the people that are starting businesses, that want to grow something, that want to earn money, a lot of them have already kind of moved that I know, and some of us are still in this boat of saying, hey, there's still hope, but slightly running out of hope and saying, why am I killing myself to do this? Why should I be trying to provide jobs for 10 people or 20 people when I'm going to get taxed at 52%? Is it really worth it for me? So I think we always have to keep that in the back of our mind. We can say, yeah, we can tax these people and introduce these programs, but who's going to be around to pay for them? What do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts are. I would love it if you guys would like this, share it with your friends that have opinions about this. Most importantly, subscribe and give me your feedback. Until next time, guys, remember one thing, get Kabeni, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.